Here's a name I can say from the Eradicator.
Hello and welcome to this channel, everybody. This is the Eradicator, and today we have a very special video because today we are going to talk about something that really holds a dear place into my heart. We are going to talk about the future of the project. We're going to talk about the dream, guys. Things that are going to come, of course, way off in the future. We're talking about future star systems. I know, it's pretty rad. The first star system is not even complete yet, and that is true, but that doesn't mean that we can't dream. It doesn't mean that we can't imagine what's going to happen in the future. It doesn't mean that we cannot imagine the full potential of the project. And for that, of course, guys, I went to different sources. Of course, I went to the Star Citizen Arc Start Map, which you can find on robotspaceindustries.com, but also checked out some of the old concept art images and descriptions that we had over the past different couple of shows, such as Lawmaker to the Galaxy and Jump Points. So I made a complete top 10 of the different star systems or planets that I'm going to settle in, or that I do plan to spend some time in. So I hope you will enjoy today's video, and I hope that maybe this is going to revive the flame, maybe, because lately we've been a little bit disappointed. So hopefully, we're going to revive the flame with this video today, and I'm going to take you to my top 10 star system. This is number 10 on my list. We're going to go to the CROSHAW system here. And here we have two planets. I'm going to include these two planets in my 10, in my top 10. So number 10, we're going to talk about Vann and Angeli, these two planets here in the CROSHAW system. So let's have a look at planet Vann first. So what's really interesting about Vann or CROSHAW 3 is that when you look at it, it doesn't look very sexy, right? It's quite dim, it's got this thick fog, it's cold, there's a lot of snow, right? And that's exactly what people thought. Apparently, according to the description that we have, a lot of people have left the planet. As a result, real estate is said to be very affordable. So I guess this would be a great place for people to settle in, to buy their own apartment or habs at the beginning of the game, I guess, since that would be quite cheap. So that's why I put it on number 10 on my list, because maybe as soon as we have persistence and more and more star systems are developed, hopefully when it's there, probably this is a place I'm talking about, far off in the future, where lots of new players will eventually settle because of the cheap real estate. It is said to be a place where a lot of artists set up because of the cheap real estate, and also because it has a lot of very beautiful aurora. Apparently the main sequence star is very active and creates a lot of flares which reflect into the atmosphere, creating this beautiful aurora that people enjoy looking at or actually depicting in art. Apparently this is also a place where people can have winter sports, like there are some mountains, and because of the snow people can go skiing. I don't know if this is actually going to be a thing in Star Citizen, but I think that this would be awesome. So for all of these reasons, Vann here is on my number 10, and co-starring in my number 10 is the planet of Angeli. So or Angeli, I don't know really how to say that, but let's have a quick look right there. Next to Vann and further within that solar system lies CROSHAW 2, also known as Angeli. Now, Angeli is kind of a contrast compared to Vann, because Angeli is a much more lush planet. It is very often compared to Earth, but before Earth was deeply urbanized and was overpopulated with human population. So it still has a lot of a very large biosphere with a lot of different natural environments as well as native species. So except a lot of hunting, there should be fun. I know that this is something that CIG wants to do in the future. There's going to be endemic species, local species that players are going to be able to either kill, or that will be a threat if you go outside in the wild. So that's going to be very interesting to see if there's maybe a place where people could be able to go hunt and especially sell the meat. And that's where it's very interesting, because Angeli, especially the city of Quinton, which is the main landing zone. There are two landing zones on Angeli, Quinton and Kevrick cities. Quinton is apparently famous for being a big food hub. So it is famous for its luxury food and food specialties. And they also make whiskey on that planet as well. So apparently this is really a place where people enjoy their time and enjoy their meat. So this is also why I'm so excited about Angeli, guys. You know me, I've been saying multiple times that I want to have farm. I want to build a food empire in Star Citizen, when I would have farms in multiple area. So on this planet, I could have farms and also make distilled spirits, or whatever they're going to call it in the community. So that's why I found this planet particularly exciting. Apparently, this is a planet where they have some earthquakes regularly. This is what they're saying. They're waiting for the big one, a little bit like what people are waiting for in California. But according to the lore, people have gotten tired of waiting and don't really care about this anymore. Anyway, this is going to be quite interesting. I can also definitely see some interesting trade between Angeli and Vann. Since especially because of that contrast, definitely Angeli can provide a lot of food to Vann, and Vann can provide, I would say, entertainment for Angeli. So there's definitely going to be lots of interesting exchanges between these two planets, and this is why these two planets out there are in my top 10. This is number 10 in my entire list. Coming 9 on my list is, of course, Microtech. You guys know that I'm very excited about Microtech, which unfortunately may not be in Star Citizen 3.8, but might be delayed to 3.9 according to Chris, which is what he said at the subscriber event in Frankfurt earlier last week. But you know, I'm very excited about Microtech. Why? Because it's that I like ice planets, especially that Hoth feeling. You know, I'm a huge Star Wars fan, guys. You know that. But I also like domes. I like science. I like to feel like I am in a sci-fi environment. I look at all these crazy plants with these beautiful, sleek ambience in Microtech. This is going to be quite amazing. It's going to feel very warm inside and very hostile and cold outside. And I just like that. I just like that contrast and that ambience. I also like the idea that this is really going to be a science and tech hub. At the same time, people are going to be able to trade there. So I can definitely imagine that this is a place where money will flow, where we'll be able to make tons of money, and there's going to be tons of interesting opportunities for players to do. So this is the reason why I am so excited about Microtech, and I cannot wait for it to come in the verse. Hopefully there will be no delays, or at least hopefully we'll have, you know, a little part of Microtech available in 3.8. We'll see. I know there's going to be a version 2 in 3.9. Hopefully they're not going to put everything in 3.9, but you know, it is done when it is done, right? So cannot wait for Microtech. Definitely my number 9 out there. Next, we are going to go to the VEGA system, which is right here. As you can see, it is dangerously close to all of these Vandal systems. So let's have a look at that VEGA system. Let's get a little bit closer, and there you can see that it features even there a Vandal attack on planet Aremis, a couple of, you know, VEGA Virgo jump point. This actually goes straight to unfortunately goes straight to Vandal space. You can see it has quite a few jump points. See, there's a jump point to Null as well. Let's go back quickly, and you can see that Virgil is definitely a Vandal planet. So this is actually a risky place to go to, but nevertheless still features some really interesting planets to go to. The first one I'm going to talk about here is Aremis, and then I'm going also to talk about Selene. Let's first talk about Aremis right now. So the first planet I'll talk about in the VEGA system is Aremis. Aremis is also known as VEGA 2, and that is also a very interesting planet to me because that planet suffered from a devastating Vandal attack recently. And well, the planet was actually very nice, especially that the city of New Corvo, which you can see on this picture, which features once again these beautiful, futuristic, sleek design. But this is also quite an amazing sight to behold because it has this beautiful ring and these two moons that are not too far from off. So you can expect the sky on that planet to be pretty amazing, quite a sight to see in the verse. And that's really what I love about Star Citizen. It's not just this whole ambience, but also the visual and how it looks like. Everywhere you go is always seemingly breathtaking, and I can't imagine that this place is going to be one of these really most breathtaking place. Just look around and you're just engaged and think, oh wow, this is so amazing, just because of those rings, that sky, and those moons around. Now this is also going to be very interesting for all the industrialists out there, because the city of New Corvo was badly damaged by that Vandal attack, and now there's a big effort from the UEE to rebuild. So you can expect the city to be buying a lot of, you know, maybe medical supplies, but also lots of minerals and resources to rebuild the whole city. So this is, I believe, going to be a very interesting place for trading, and that's also why here the lore says that this is a place that attracts more and more and more people. So they're really trying their best out there to be as attractive as possible to speed the reconstruction process, so you can expect a lot of players to be attracted. Now, because it attracts a lot of players, it's also apparently, according to the lore, attracting a lot of criminals. So all of those paramilitary orgs out there, people who are into security, will have a lot of contracts, I'm sure, which also is going to make this whole rebuilding a little bit risky, since it is attracting a lot of criminals. It is going to need also some escorts there. So I really expect this place to be a lucrative place, a little bit risky. So if you like some action, then that's going to be great. If you mind action, maybe you don't want to go to VEGA, but definitely a must go if you really want to experience the whole Star Citizen experience, I should say. Now, the next planet I'll be talking about in the VEGA system is, of course, Selene, which is considered to be the main planet of the VEGA system, mostly because of its landing zone called Titus, which is said to be the largest city on Selene. It's very interesting because it's supposed to be like maybe the opposite of Terra, I would say. Like it's supposed to be a very big city with the center still being quite active, but the size of the city not really complete, with a lot of abandoned construction projects, mostly because of what happened after the Vandal attack. A lot of people have fled the area. Still, these abandoned or not finished areas have attracted quite a few people though, and these are the people who were in those human systems that have been conquered by the Vandal, especially the Orion system. And apparently this is going to be a place where a lot of players would be able to have missions that will take them into Vandal systems to kill as many Vandals as possible. Those survivors are looking for blood. They are a little bit bloodthirsty. They want to get revenge, and they're going to ask you to kill as many Vandals as possible. Apparently those missions, according to the lore, don't pay very much, are considered to be dangerous, but I suppose that you'll be able to stack them a little bit like you can stack now delivery missions, so that even though they don't pay very much, if you stack them and you enjoy dogfighting, then you can still be able to make quite a big chunk of money doing that activity. So as a fighter, as someone who loves to fight and someone who loves to go into action, this is another reason why I would be excited to visit Selene, and especially the landing zone of Titus. Alright, next on my list is Terra. I know Terra is a fan favorite. A lot of people love this planet, mostly because it is considered as Earth 2.0. And that's true, but you're going to see that there are planets that are actually much more interesting than Terra, although I do plan to spend an extensive time on that planet. So let's check it out. Let's check out why this thing is so interesting. In case, you're new to Star Citizen and you don't know what it is, you definitely want to check it out. Now, planet Terra 3, also known as just Terra, is going to be an amazing place to visit. It's also going to be a huge amount of work for CIG, but I do suspect that CIG has been working on that planet for quite some time, because there has been some leaks of Terra that dated back, from 2016. So that's already from 3 years ago. I can't believe that they just, scrapped everything and starting over again. But I'm pretty sure that there's got to be a team that must be working on Terra, because it is going to be a huge amount of work, guys. Not just because of the city of Prime, which is the capital of Terra. It's got that huge mega city that's of course going to be a landing zone, but it's going to have a ton of different locations that are all going to be linked by different metro systems, interesting streets to visit, tons of mission givers, awesome vistas if you just want to take pictures, or just want to have a great time hanging out, places where your character is going to have a house, a hub, shops to buy different various components or clothes or food. It's basically Earth 2.0. And what is fascinating about the lore of Terra is that it is everything that Earth should have been if people from Earth had been reasonable and had developed their planet in a sustainable way. So the people on Terra want to develop their planet by learning from the mistakes of Earth, and that is what makes this city so interesting. It is basically what Earth should have become. And so they really want to make that distinction between their own planet and Earth, even though it is considered by many people as being the new Earth. They really want to make that distinction that everything they do is here to keep the planet's future, the planet's environment safe and sustainable, so that future generations can really enjoy what they are currently enjoying right now. There are several major locations. We've talked about Prime. There's also a place called Quasi, which is considered to be the second city of Earth, but Quasi is going to be more touristic than Prime, even though Prime is already going to be very touristic. There's also a place called New Austin, which is of course a reference to the original studios of CIG, which originally were in Austin. We all remember that basement with Wingman, right? So this is also going to be the third landing zone there, which is going to be more of an industrial location. So you can definitely, we can definitely imagine that Terra is going to be a place that is going to buy a lot of different commodities, but also at different locations on the planet, which is pretty cool. Lots of other locations are also scheduled, so not just 3, but lots of different cities are also involved. So this is as close as what we're gonna get when we get Earth. You know that one of the long-term objectives of CIG is to implement a 30th century Earth into the game. I believe that Terra is going to be their test bed. If they can nail Terra, then eventually they are going to be able to nail Earth in the very long term. So it's going to be very interesting to see how they're going to handle that. Don't expect Terra to see in the game anytime soon, unfortunately. I would be very surprised if they talk about it at this year's CitizenCon. That's nearly impossible. I would be very surprised if we see it also next year's CitizenCon. But hey, you know, who knows? Maybe server-side object container streaming will be a big hit and it will allow them to work much faster. We don't know. But anyway, guys, Terra is definitely going to be a must-go for any player in Star Citizen, and that's why I am most excited about it. Unfortunately, it is not the plan that I'm not excited about. That's why it's just number 7. Let's check out what is our number 6. And next, we're gonna go to the Castra system right here. A very interesting system with this huge star out there, a blue star that is going to be quite a sight to be seen. But this planet right here, Cascom, is what we are interested in. Alright, now number 6, we're going to talk about Castra, and especially Castra 2, which is another very interesting planet to me because it used to be a military base that was sold to the civilian population. And what makes this planet, and especially the landing zone, which is of course Sherman, you can see those beautiful pictures here, is that it is located on top of a mountain. So this is going to be a very interesting place. Now, mostly the reason why this place is located on top of the mountain is because, a little bit like Microtech, the terraforming process did fail, resulting in a lot of clouds being formed on this planet. So probably they wanted to be as above as possible from those clouds, which is why they built that settlement on top of these mountains, but leaving place to some really beautiful views. Once again, this is a place where, according to the lore, where retirees like to spend time because of the fresh air, and people also love to go there for extreme sports. Apparently, are extreme sports going to be in Star Citizen? I don't know if there's going to be leisure in Star Citizen. Still, so much this game has to offer. Anyway, I am definitely interested in this location just for the scenic views and the lore, and I like anything that is military, so probably there's gonna be that badass atmosphere. Maybe some old soldiers are gonna be there. I don't expect there to be a lot to be a lot of crime, but probably another place that is going to be buying a lot of trade. Probably I expect this place to be buying medical supplies and food due to the amount of retired people who would live there. Interesting that, you know, there's some places where retired people like to live, but that's where they like to go. Why not? I can definitely see that there's going to be lots of money there. At the same time, there's going to be some breathtaking views. That's what Star Citizen is all about, right? Alright, next we're gonna go right here into the Helios system, and as you can see, that is another system with this beautiful blue star. I really love blue stars. They're just so amazing to look at. But that's not why we're here, guys. Of course, we are here for one of its most interesting planets, actually its most interesting planet. We're going to go to, no, not this one, this is the moon that cycles around it. We're going to go to Tangaroa over here. Very interestingly, it has a space station here. This is called, if it's a station, this is a military station that somehow likes to buy luxury goods. So if you're a trader, maybe you can make some money out there. But that's not what we're talking about. That's not what we're going to talk about today. Of course, we're going to talk about this big planet, which actually turns out to have a low gravity and a heavy moon that circles around it. So that is actually triggering some interesting phenomena that are happening on this planet. Let's have a look. This is my number 5. And so on number 5 is of course planet Tangaroa, which is this very interesting place because of its gravity. It has a low gravity and this big moon that you can see out there in the sky of that concept art. And as a result, it is an ocean planet, guys, and as a result, the consequences are very impressive. As you can see, it is quite common for this planet to feature these huge waves. You know, on Earth, we would have maybe 1 or 2 meters tall waves, you know, at best, you know, by the shores. But over there, they're having skyscraper tall waves, which of course can be devastating for those who are unprepared. Some of the locals really enjoy surfing those waves. Other locals live in fear of their settlements being submerged. Some of the houses that some people live underwater there, in underwater houses, of course those are safe, but some people do live above the surface, especially on around the main landing zone, which is called Mariana, which we could see in the picture before. And so Mariana definitely is built behind, you know, big walls. It is built also on, not I would say on altitude, but on certain heights, so that it has the nickname of shore break. So actually it breaks, basically breaks the shore, but also breaks the waves that are crashing into it. Certainly making quite an impressive sight there. Very impressive for those, you know, who are just want to look at the sea, and you see these huge waves crashing on these walls, and maybe some of that water would eventually go inside, and but you know, without flooding, but just, you know, just for the effect, the special effects. And I'm pretty sure that when the devs are going to start working on that, they're definitely going to have a lot of fun with all of those water mechanics that still need to be created, unfortunately, which is why I believe that this planet is still way far off in the future. But when it is going to be there, it is going to be very fun, because this is really one of these examples where the devs are going to really have to push some mechanics, in this case the water mechanics, into its extremes, so that we can have these huge waves, these effects, you know, all that water crashing into the walls, and all of these water effects, you know, splashing pretty much everywhere. I can imagine, I can imagine the whole thing being a happy mess, but definitely an impressive sight to see for sightseeing. That's why this is on my this is number 5 on my list. And for the next planet, I have to take you right here to the HORUS system. Which, as you can see, it is a much smaller planet. As you can see, it is actually a Type M star, also known as a dwarf star. And I am going to take you to the planet called Serling, very, very close to its parent star, but turns out to be in the habitable zone. Sorry. The other thing that you need to to pay attention to, let's go back to the system, is that it does have some jump points, quite a few jump points. As you can see, some of them go actually into Xi'an space, and that is why this is number 4 on my list, guys. Behold planet Serling. Now, guys, this is really one of the planets I am the most excited about, because this planet Serling is what we could call an eyeball planet. So it is a planet around an M star, an M-type star, so a red dwarf that is actually tidally locked. That means one side of the planet is always facing the sun, the other side is always in the dark. There is no rotation there. That means you know that some places are always going to be in the light, some places are always going to be in the dark, and that's how it is. And that's why this is very interesting, especially given the nature of its planet, of its star, sorry, is that as a result, one side is really going to be unhospitable and very hot. The other side is also going to be very unhospitable and very cold. And so people actually settle on, there's actually a habitable zone on that planet, which is which would be the side of the eyeball, if you see what I mean. And this is where this is basically Twilight Zone, if I may say so. So that's That's where the sun always looks like it is setting or rising, depending on which perspective you are taking it. And this is where temperatures would be not so high. This is where water will be able to have its liquid form, so it's not going to evaporate, and it's not going to be in ice in ice shape. The other thing that is so interesting with this planet, and that's what you can see in this concept art right here, is that red dwarfs have a spectrum of light that is very different from stars like ours, where we can see all the different colors of the spectrum. The natural light emitted by these red dwarfs is usually quite red. So you would see hues of crimson, red, pink, as you can see on this picture, a little bit of purple, but that's about it. These are the colors that people would see naturally on these planets. Of course, it's possible to have artificial lights that would bring the different colors that we humans can see. But if you go out there in the wild, you are going to see a lot of these red, purple, pink colors, and that is also going to be something quite amazing, quite a sight to see for all the explorers and travelers out there. And that's why, guys, I am so excited just to see how exotic this is going to be, just to have this feel of these cities always being in that pinkish twilight. That is going to be quite a sight to behold. Also, the other exciting fact is that it is very close to the Xi'an space, so expect to see lots of Xi'an goods, Xi'an traders there. If you want to trade in Xi'an space but still have your base of operation in human space, that is definitely a place where you would want to settle. That's why Serling here is in my number 4 on my top 10 list. All right, the next planet here, actually the next system I should say, is this one over here, if I'm clicking right, Rethor. That's where we're going. And this is extremely interesting. Well, not necessarily because of what this system is known for. This system is known for being like the heart of knowledge within the UEE. It has a lot of university and colleges. This is basically a place where a lot of young people in the UEE would study, but this is not what we're the most interested for here. This is not what I am the most interested for here. I am actually most interested in that gas giant here, which is Rethor V. Now, I know that this is quite surprising to have a gas giant as a number 3 for the most expected planets here, but you gotta admit that this actually looks really beautiful, at least here on the concept art. This is a gas giant that has these chromatic colors there generated by what it is made of, and as well as all of the storms that are around. But not just that, it also has these weird rings around it that also have these beautiful colors. It is surrounded by a couple of moons, and it is also said that students in the Rethor system do come here to enjoy some hallucinogenic substances, if you see what I mean. So I do suspect some of these moons around Rethor V to have some compounds, some party compounds, where some of the students go there, would take some substances that they shouldn't take and enjoy what they think is a good time. Definitely as a trader and as an entrepreneur, I am going to have a good time selling these substances to those people here and making a lot of money, which is why, on top of the beautiful side, I'm also interested in Rethor V, because I believe that there is a way to make money out of these idiots out there. Alright, next we are going to go to another system out there. This time we're going to go to the Centauri system, which seems a little bit far, but I don't know. It still has quite a few jump points that only go within Earth, within UEE space, so still safe from Vandal invasions, even though on the map it does look at it as close, so let's not worry about that. It still has one of these blue stars, but especially, guys, it has this planet that I am extremely excited about. This planet is called Saisei, and this is another planet that you definitely want to visit. Number 2 on my list is Centauri 3, also known as Saisei. This is the 3rd planet in the Centauri system. By the way, this is not the Alpha Centauri system. This is another in-fiction Centauri system. I really don't know why they did not recreate the Alpha Centauri system. But anyway, I guess that is a question we could ask to CIG one day. Anyway, that's not really important. What is important, guys, is that this is a planet that actually was settled by a lot of former people from Japan. and these, all former, because Japan does not exist anymore now, it's just the UEE. But these people from Japan moved. A lot of people from Japan moved to that planet and created what is, the perfect city, the perfect world, according to their tradition and their beliefs. And this is the result. We have a very clean, well organized, well planned environment, which is also home to MISC. For those who are fans of MISC, I certainly am. I love their ships, so I am definitely going to visit their headquarters quite a few times, but not just have a look at that beauty. Definitely there is that Singapore, Tokyo feel to it that you can find in many of these top tier high-tech Asian metropolis. So you can definitely feel that environment here, and this is what I like also with Chris Roberts' games, especially if you remember back in the old Freelancer. In Freelancer, you had these different sectors with different culture. You had the German sector, the Japanese sector, you had the American sector, you had the British sector, and you had the Latino sector as well. And this is what they're trying to recreate here. Not every place is going to have an American or a British feel. In Star Citizen, there are going to be places that are going to feel more Japanese, more German, and in this case here, more Japanese, yes, more French as well. We're going to see that in our number one later. So that's why this is in my not my top two, my number two, because of how beautiful it is, of course, because of the architecture, because of MISC, but also because of the Japanese feel. And last but not least, I am taking you right here to the Ghost system. Ghost, which actually has 2 stars, Ghost A and 2B. It's a binary star system, which is going to make this very, very interesting and very beautiful when you look at it, guys. And there is that one planet that I am particularly interested in, and that is Cassel. And so you may have noticed that I did say Cassel instead of Castle, simply because, I don't know, it just have this French pronunciation, so we can imagine that this is a place where a lot of French people might have settled in the verse. And I like how the lore says that people are irritated if you call it Castle. It's like it really pisses them off, just like French people would be pissed off if you pronounce their names wrong, which actually they are. So that's why I would totally imagine that would be the case, which I find awesome. I guess I would feel a little bit like at home at Cassel. And also the reason why I chose this place, this is going to be my number one destination, my home. That's where I'm gonna put my land claim, guys, because it is home to tropical rainforest, beautiful oceans, lots of wildlife everywhere, the ultimate destination for tourists, maybe because of its twin sun. I know it has resorts everywhere. I can totally settle. I will put my land claim right next to the shore. I will have a nice little, I don't know, maybe a place where people will be able to enjoy the alcohol I will be producing right there at my local farm here, in my food empire. I'm definitely gonna make a lot of alcohol. I could totally imagine making some kind of rum there, or some kind of liquor that people are gonna buy there at at that beautiful touristic destination. So that's why this is my number one, for the beauty, for the luxury, for all the richness of the ecosystem, just the beauty of being there, and that sense of escapism. This is going to be, in my opinion, the ultimate Star Citizen destination, the ultimate Star Citizen planet. I cannot wait for Cassel to be implemented in the game. Please, CIG, if you're watching this video, please make it, put it in the game ASAP. I really want to see it. I know it's not going to come anytime soon. I know that they want to put some of the ecosystems first on the plans that we already have, including maybe Hurston, for example. We still need to see some of this little fauna and wildlife already on what we have already, but I cannot wait to see that happening right here on Castle. This is really the dream destination, and that is why it is on my number one on my list. So please tell me in the comments down below, what is your number one? Are there any places that you wish would have made it in your number 10, in your top 10? Please tell me in the comment down below. What is your top 10? Are you excited about future star system, or maybe you don't really care because that is way too far off in the future? Please tell me in the comment down below. This month, I am giving away a Tombre Ranger CV. This is the perfect motorcycle if you want to do planet-side delivery missions. All you need to do to get a chance of winning is to subscribe to this channel and to comment to any videos posted this month. The winner will be announced early September, so good luck to everybody. I also wanted to thank my Patreons for making this video possible. You guys really give me the extra motivation to go the extra mile to bring you that daily Star Citizen content, so thank you so much, guys. If you want to support the channel further down, the link is in the description down below. Any help is greatly appreciated. And that's all for this video, guys. A pretty long video, much longer than I had anticipated, I have to say. I think I've been working on this video for the entire afternoon. I'm glad I had the afternoon off. But anyway, yeah, quite exceptional video for you guys. I hope that this triggered a little bit of imagination. I hope that this aroused your interest for the future of Star Citizen, as it certainly did. I am so excited about this game, even though I know the development is very slow. I know there are some mismanagements, but at the same time, you know, it's all a dream, right? Is the dream going to come true or not? Quite frankly, at this point, I don't really care anymore. I'm just enjoying what I'm given, and I just hope that everything we've seen in today's video will one day come to fruition and will come to life. That's all I have to say. I'll see you guys tomorrow for another video. We got something. I got some really interesting footage from my good friend Segalian. He did something quite amazing on Delamar, so we'll see that tomorrow. That's the Eradicator. Thank you so much for watching. I am signing out.